everyone. Welcome back to the Talkoffamepod podcast. I'm Kylie, and I'm so excited for this conversation because we're joined by Alondra Perez, who's a model and pageant girl. We will dive into the pageant world, modeling, and much more. And make sure everyone to subscribe, like, and review for future episodes. And Alondra is a very inspiring person, and I can't wait to learn more about her and her journey to where she is now. And how are you today? And so I'm super excited to talk with you today.
First things first, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm doing great. And I can't wait to get some questions started.
Yeah, and can you tell us kind of more about your journey in modeling and pageants? You've been doing this for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, so I started at 14. I'm Latina, so I'm Mexican, and my mom put me in this quinceañera modeling academy, and that's how I started in the modeling world. I modeled for this company for about 3 years, and then in between that time that I was modeling, I got into pageantry at 16, which is actually a little bit late compared to a lot of other girls that started. And I just went in by myself and was like, why not? I always want to try new different things, and
Mhm.
that's why I was like, I'm gonna push myself to do this. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have no one to that knew about pageantry in that time. So I just went in blindly. I ended up getting second runner up in my very first pageant, which is in my head, I thought I did pretty good, which was like, okay, cool. It is
Mhm.
very expensive to do pageants, but once you're in it, you start to learn a little bit of tricks, and how to save more money in it and in that world. So yeah, that's
Ooh.
what I've been doing so far.
Yeah, is model and pageants two separate things, or is it
Oh
kind of
yeah.
similar?
Personally, my mom enjoys me modeling way more than pageantry, but that's because she loves the glam, and pageantry is more competitive, and you're going for a title. Not everyone's a winner, but you do gain experience. So you,
Mhm.
even though if you don't get a crown or the title, you learn. Which to me, that's more than even earning the crown. Because at the end of the day, I have learned so much, so many contacts, so many new friends that I've made thanks to pageantry, and I wouldn't trade them for the world.
Yeah, the best part about it is modeling, pageant, or anything that you do is
Yeah,
people friends, even though you might not win the title or anything. At least you're making friends and
exactly.
making connections. That's the most important.
Yeah. The networking is awesome in this industry, honestly. And the girls are super sweet. I know sometimes there's a stereotype that, they can be catty or something like that. But honestly, majority of the girls that I've known are just such sweethearts, and they really have a passion and a platform that they're fighting for. And every girl that competes in a pageant understands that, you're fighting for something.
Right? And what does kind of the pageant world look like if people are don't know about it? What in your experience, what does it kind of look like?
It depends as what you're competing in. For example, when I started as a teen, I was naive, and I was like, oh, it's just a pretty crown. And then later throughout the years, it's your perspective changes.
Mhm.
Now as a miss, I realized that it's not about a pretty crown. It's not about looking gorgeous. Yes, of course, it's part of the glam, but it's mainly what you're going for. And if you have a passion that you really want to fight for something, then pageantry can help you through that, because they have scholarships, they have prize winnings. If you want to model, it can also help you in modeling, coaching. They pay off a lot of stuff, so at the end of the day, that money that was spent goes back into it. So if girls have a perspective that it can be a little bit too much, it will be worth it at the end.
That's super cool because at least even though you might not win, you can always do get the money for a cause, even if
Yeah,
it's a sponsorship
exactly.
or something. You can always do it something you're passionate about, like cancer awareness or something, whatever it is. You can just do it for that cause instead of bringing on the money for yourself. If do something
Yeah.
that you appreciate it
No,
more.
it's very important to learn, and I love it that so Instagram is existing, and then a lot of girls post their platforms and teach people about what they're doing, rather than just not it's not just selfies and cute pictures of one another.
Yeah. It's crazy how social media plays a valid role in especially in this industry. It plays a huge amount in what we do.
Yes, it does. I'm very happy for it.
Yeah. What is your favorite pageant moment? Or yeah,
um,
multiple. I know it's very hard to choose one specific moment. I know it's for me too. I'm the same exact way.
oh no, I there's a lot, but I would say one of my most proudest moments was I competed as teen last year because it was my last year as a teen. And I did this. I had the title of Miss Eco Teen Nevada, and I had my speech, which my platform was practically, teaching people about recycling. Because my dad is a director of a recycling company here in Las Vegas. It's called Las Vegas Recycling, and thanks to my dad, I learned so much of the importance of what recycling is, and I gave my speech, mainly focused on that and how being eco-friendly is very important. And I think the moment that I ended my speech, it was a minute and 30 seconds long, I believe. And I just hear, "Go Missy, go Tina Nevada." And it was just like a bunch of applause because I know myself, I worked so hard for that moment and I did good. And it was one of those moments that I was like, no matter what the results are, I did what I was supposed to do. And I like taught my platform. You know what I mean? So
Like
it
you're
was,
telling your stories. Like when you see those people giving you a pause and saying all these things, you're like,
yeah.
okay, I don't care about anything else. This is the most important thing that happened to me.
Exactly. That moment of pride that, I felt within that was like all my hard work paid off on that stage. And I was like,
You're
that
like, thank you for all the hard work. Like it's like any
yeah.
hard work you put in, as long as you put in that work, you're like, good
Yes.
things always turn out to be meant to
Exactly.
be.
No matter what you do, and I always tell people I work with, everything I do, any work, I try to give it my 100%. So if I don't have the time, because I'm working 3 jobs, so if I don't have the time to give my 100% to one of those jobs, I will not do it. You know,
Mhm.
I'll just be like, "I'm sorry, I'm busy or I'm scheduled, and I won't be able to give you my 100%." And I just don't want to look bad from my end or on their end.
Yeah, because like even if you're like sometimes like I don't feel 100%, but I do it anyway. But it's like when you do that specific thing, like even if you're
Yeah,
exhausted or you're moving around, your schedule's all messed up and you're
exactly.
you're packed, like sometimes you have to think like, okay, well, if I'm scheduled and packed, how am I supposed to put the time and work into the
Yeah,
situation, whether it's
yeah,
like an interview or a job or whatever it may be? It's like, how am I supposed to put in my work and my experience into this thing that I don't feel very confident in?
and you have to divide it. Like it's tough with a schedule like that because you know it there's people that want you at a specific time, and then you have to change some stuff on your schedule. And I used to do that when I was younger, where I wanted an opportunity so bad that I was like, I'll drop everything and go, even though if I wasn't getting a pay or something like that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I was still like, I'll drop everything for this opportunity. And now I'm more cautious because, you grow up, they're supposed to pay. So I'm still in school, so I still, have to pay off that. And now I realize that like, yeah, it's not as easy as it was when I was younger to, just drop everything.
Yeah, I
Unfor-
would think the exact same thing. Like, I have one specific opportunity that you really would die for, and like, I would think like, okay, I'm dropping everything. I do whatever I
Exactly.
can. I don't care if I have to raise $1 million. I'm dropping it and
Yeah.
just doing whatever. But now it's like you said, as you get over, become more cautious in like what you spend your money on and what you use it for.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah. I've learned and I've grown so much, and I've realized that. And, everyone that has known me throughout these years have realized that big change I've made. And I'm grateful for it. And honestly, modeling and pageantry have taught me that.
Like that's the best thing, like about like doing something is that like it'll teach you things that you never kind of thought about changing until you start the specific thing.
Yes.
But like, what does like your schedule look like with modeling and pageants? Is it like a very packed schedule, or is it kind of like a light, depending on the day, like busy day, the next day it's like very easy?
Yeah, it's very diverse. Honestly, I have a job that's mainly like I'm there the majority of my time. You know what I mean? And it's a dress shop. I work at a dress boutique. And, I'm sure you guys have seen some of my content where, like, on Instagram, I post dress videos, and that's my main job. And I
Mhm.
love being a salesperson. I enjoy girls coming in looking for a prom dress and, or a bridal dress. Like, this is my dream gown. I'm like, yes, please.
You're like, please
But
take this. Like this would be amazing.
please. No. And I also have I had a previous job, and I worked at a banquet hall, and I was managing it. And thank you so much to, the owner of that banquet hall, because she taught me so much. And I realized how hard it can be if you're looking forward to, having a business like that. props to you because it is a difficult job,
Mhm.
and dealing with that is a whole other deal, which I feel like made me so grateful for the job I have now. And with modeling, I'll have some modeling gigs come and go depending on what the agency offers. And with that, my bosses from my current job, like that I have mainly, they will be like, okay, we can change your off day to this. And they're so lenient to that work. And I'm so grateful to them for that. And I also have another one, which is with the gym wear brand. And, we create content. I work at the gym at times, trying to also be a salesperson, marketing. So mainly with modeling a lot, it's like there's two types or three types mainly. There's the commercial type, there is the trade shows, and there is the runway.
Mhm.
I have done runway as well, but it's very different from doing a trade show. Where a trade
Yeah.
show, you're being a salesperson. Of course, you're a model. You're still selling your image, but you're mainly selling the product as well. And whereas runway modeling, it is very like, put on this gown, be ready to walk, and be fierce.
Hmm.
And
Like
it's
very
fun.
quick, like very stressful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it can be stressful if you don't know what you're working with, if you go in blindly. Um, when I did LA Fashion Week, I got to talk with a designer and she was very lenient. And as well with New York, like with that, there's a specific company that does that work and they're very like cool with it. Also, society. There's just some brands that just are super helpful and they're not gonna put you in just like go, you know. But depending on the designer, depending on the fashion show that you're doing, it can change. Your experience might be different.
Yeah, because like every like gig you do, whether it's like modeling or whatever, like pageants, it's totally different. Like there's totally different model things. Like it's not like the
Yeah.
trade show or even going in front of a camera doing a little photo shoot. Like
Yeah.
there are different types of models and photo shoots and all that stuff. It's not like one specific thing.
Yeah, and it depends on the image they're looking for. I know a lot of people will be like, I'm not super petite myself to be like, thin and that specific image that you have for like Kendall Jenner type.
Hmm.
And my height is 5'6", so it's also not like like the ideal height for a model. But thank God, honestly, I've had so many opportunities and connections that have been able to get me into those shows. And yeah, it just depends. Again, networking works a lot. Oh, I'm so sorry. And pageantry, can you hear me? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Pageantry as well, have been part of that, push towards that world.
And like I want to ask you, because especially like being in this like type of industry with modeling and pageant, like you said earlier, like some people can be kind of very, hateful or rude or anything, especially in this industry in terms of modeling and stuff. Like, have you experienced any bullying or hate when like doing those type of things, or it's kind of like all the girls are super nice, that stuff? Because I know like not every person in that industry is kind
Yeah,
of like, rude or anything cocky.
the thing is, it depends because growing up, it was when I started with that quinceañera stuff and that modeling. I was in high school and my teachers were very like, oh, be careful. And then there'd be some girls that would be like, oh, she thinks she's a model and like she's not. And at the time it would hurt because I was like, man, like maybe what they're saying is true. Maybe this is just like I'm just going nowhere with this.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for my parents because they were always like, don't give up. If you have a dream, go for it. And I was like, okay. And honestly, that pushed me towards pageantry. That their speech of like, ignore those girls. They're probably like they probably see something that they would like to do and they're just putting it on you. Maybe they want to do that and do those type of things, but they're just like being hateful towards it.
Hmm.
And it was just that. But in the industry within, I feel like it's more if you might consider it bullying if you're going it like again blindly. But I don't consider it bullying if it's a designer that's like, okay, you know what? This dress is not for you. And like this doesn't go with because they're selling their image.
Yeah.
They're selling their design. So I can't really take it personally because I'm like, they're the ones paying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I can't. But there has been, people that have a stronger character than others. And you can't really I personally don't judge them because you never know who they are, what day they're going through, or how it is. And, I've had my bad days here and there, so I can't really be like, I try to understand as much as I can because it is a difficult industry to be in. But if you have the character and energy to deal with it, then it's very different. And you'll see it in a whole other view. You'll see it way differently.
Yeah, like what I like what you said like earlier, but it's like when you see people, like in those type of moods or like kind of like judging you in this type of way, but it's like it depends on what bullying comes off as. Like it was
Yes.
because bullying and not bullying is two different things. Just to say like, oh, this dress is not fit for you, like you said. Like
Yeah.
that's not kind of not considered bullying. It's considered like
Yeah.
they're like not judgment, but how do you feel about that dress on you, in their opinion.
Exactly.
Because like
Yeah.
of
So
course
it's just
every dress is not gonna be perfect for you.
no. And it's literally like if they say they're the designers and they're telling you no, you have to be like, okay, I'm not if you, the dress may be beautiful, but maybe it's not as one imagines in the model. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, do you
Um,
have like a favorite designer or clothes to wear?
I love everything. I mean, I've seen the Chanel flats are super cute in style right now,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I want to go back into the flats.
Yeah, the
Right now,
flats.
I'm still into like, yeah, right now I love these cowgirl Steve Madden boots. I honestly wear them every day to work. I bought the black boots and the like beigey color, cream color boots. And honestly, I'm not a cowgirl. I'm Mexican. I do love like rancho and horses, but I'm really not still into that, but I just love the cowgirl boots for
Me
anything right
too.
now.
I'm the
Love them.
same exact way. I'm like anything that involves like country things, I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I just like it a lot. I've
like,
been, I
do
mean,
you like country music or are you just kind of like the style?
yeah, I actually do. I'm not gonna be off and tell you like this is my favorite country song, but and I honestly, it's thanks to my coworker Emily. She loves Taylor Swift and she's like just plays like a whole lot other different styles and playlists that I normally don't listen to. And I just started getting into it. I'm like, okay, I like this, and that's the cool
Mhm.
part about working with different people because they have a different like style than you and you guys can still connect. It's super fun.
And because like my cousin's actually a big Taylor Swift fan as well, so I totally understand that. And like,
Yeah.
especially you listen to Taylor Swift, like she's so big right now. That's
Yes.
crazy.
I know she's like she even because she competed for Miss Nevada Teen USA and she won, thank God. And I was just so happy. But her dress, she had envisioned it based on a Taylor Swift album. And I was like, girl, she called it. She was like, she even called her dress Taylor, which is like super
Oh,
cute.
that's so
Uh,
sweet. And like,
yeah.
should people like join the model and pageant industry and why?
I believe they should if they have something they want to fight for, like a platform.
Hmm.
Or just if you want to better your image because whatever reason it is, I think it really pushes girls to accomplish a lot of things. For example, and I'm not saying I just lost weight because of the pageant, but it's because I'm a little bit competitive.
Oh,
So
me
when it
too.
comes, I want my image to just be the best. And like you said, when it's time to compete, if I'm leaving my best there, I know I did everything I could, you
Yeah.
know. So I did for a pageant. I recall like losing about 10 to 15 pounds, and it was because I was just striving to look my best on that stage. And it helped me better my image. I felt so much healthier. I lost weight in the healthy way. I wasn't not eating. I got a nutritionist. He helped me out. And honestly, ever since that like pageantry world, um, I've just worked on bettering everything I do. And it's because of that. And if you're trying to push for a platform or pushing to be yourself and you can't find a reason to, do what you've always wanted to do, I think that's a great way to start.
You're right. And like when you like have like especially like with like losing pounds for a Pacific title, people oftentimes like think like, oh, you're starving yourself, blah blah blah. But it's like
No.
that's like don't starve yourself. I promise me, don't. But it's
No.
um like you especially being in this industry, like you want to actually look the best when you go into this
Yeah.
industry. So
Yeah,
it's
so
like when you like there's much healthier ways in getting losing weight than starving yourself.
exactly. You know, and it helps you so much as a lifestyle. I was never a gym girl ever. Like if you could think of me, like honestly, back in high school, I was more of like, oh, I'm cool with like who I am. I loved eating hot Cheetos and drinking Arizona for breakfast. It was like
Yeah,
not
I'm the
healthy
same exact
whatsoever.
way. I'm like
Yeah,
a person that literally does like not care right now, like a gym person. I'll just like go with friends or something, and then like I'll just eat Cheetos or energy drink or
yeah.
coffee after.
And I was really like, carefree. Like I loved doing just eating, going out to eat, and I still do that. Not saying limit yourself, but I used to do it every day, and just I was always very uncareful as well with my social media, with what I posted, and ever since pageantry, everything changed with my lifestyle of eating, going to the gym, everything I post on social media. I'm always careful, like just to you care for an image. That's another thing when you're joining in pageantry, social media is a main thing. Like, it has to be careful. You can't just be posting a lot of like, if you're like we were talking about, there's different types of models. Boudoir is not really used much in pageantry because again, there's an image to sell, all of that. So when it comes to boudoir modeling, which honestly, beautiful women as well that do it, and they love to do that, and that's their work. But yeah, it's just being careful with what you post. You can't post much of that work, or even if you still do boudoir, you can't post much about it. So it's
Yeah,
always
that's
being
very
careful with your
understandable. Because like
yeah,
you basically you whether you post, it's gonna be like towards against you at some point, whatever you post.
yeah,
And
yeah. So
like
they're
if you
careful.
could be one person for a day, who would it be?
I would probably be an Avenger.
Ooh.
Just like superhero. I love like the Avengers movies, but I don't know. I love Iron Man, just not how he
Yeah, I'm a big like X-Men,
died.
like those type of superhero movies.
Yeah, like I honestly, I would just be out of this world, parallel universe.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like
I just
like what's
something to
like your
do with.
favorite like superhero movie?
Like I said, Iron Man. But Endgame, honestly, with that movie, I think it'll stay as part of in history as one of the best movies ever.
Mm.
Um, the ending, I was distraught, but still, I think it's one of those where you have to learn word by word
Yeah, like
what
I
goes on.
still haven't watched that movie yet. I don't know why, but I
Oh,
still haven't watched
I'm
it.
so sorry if I jinxed it for you.
No, it's fine. No worries. No worries. Like at least like if people know, like don't worry. Like spoilers don't kill me, honestly. So I
Okay.
don't mind it. It's hey, the more spoilers, the more exciting it is, right?
Yeah.
But like
So,
if you could change one thing when you first started, what would it be?
I would probably take that fear away from that little girl that like was scared to start new things.
Oh yeah.
And I would I wouldn't tell her what's to come because I just wanted it to be a surprise. But yeah, I would take away fear. Be like, you know
Mhm.
what, relax. Don't stress out about things that were unnecessary.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like I was the same exact way. Like I literally let fear against me on every single thing I try. So
Yeah,
I really connect with you on that because when fear takes over you, it stops what you're doing in life and things you want to try.
exactly. Yeah, honestly, I'm my biggest critic. So with everything I do, it's tough. Like I have to pick at it. I have to pick at everything, and it's hard at times to deal with myself.
Yeah.
But I'm like, everyone will be like, "Oh, it looks fine, everything's good," and I'm like, "Oh no, there's still something that I have to fix with it."
Yeah,
But
because like you're your own critic. Don't let like you like if people are judging you, like they're like just judging you because they have nothing better to do.
yeah,
You're your only critic because you know what's best for yourself, not other people.
exactly. But thank God, I feel like more relaxed now. I think my life is getting a little bit more into place with school, with modeling, and doing these things. Which is, I'm hoping to do a platform later on to create a page where I can post more stuff like that. Where it's never too late to start things. It's never too late
Right.
to learn anything you want to do. For example, with your podcast. Just like you're inspiring kids to start new things, and
Yeah,
I
like
love,
right? Like it's the same for you as well because like when you like you started at 14 with everything, right?
yeah.
like I started everything I did at 14 as well. And so like when I even like if you start 14, like it's never too late to start things, no matter how old you are. Like even it's like, oh, I'm too old to do let's just say modeling, for example. Like you're never too old. At least you're trying it. If you don't like it, at least you tried it. You know what I mean? It's just like as long as you try something new, like you don't know if you like it until you try it and stuff. He's like, if you say, "Oh, I'm not gonna like it before you try," you're like, "How am I gonna know if I'm not gonna like it if I didn't try?"
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's the thing. It's just kind of to dare yourself to do new things and push yourself. And I'm really hoping that this platform works out. Currently my I love thrifting, so I have a lot of stuff with that, and my platform's mainly with thrifting because, of course, recycling company and all of that. But you know, um, I just want to push myself to inspire people to do different things rather than just have one focus. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like you definitely should start that sometime. Like I
Yeah,
definitely would help you with that. Like if you need it. Like I definitely like it's like starting something along with your platform is always something good to help others besides yourself.
yes, and that's what my main thing was. It's like a lot. I don't just want it to be like my name or myself. I want other people's stories, different inspirations.
Mm.
People that I know. For example, my makeup artist. She started, I don't know, like her late 20s. She already had 3 kids at the time she started doing makeup, and now she's doing makeup for the Raider ads and hair, and she's just amazing. So
Mm.
it's just inspirational stories. Rather, also this Golden Knights girl, she started dancing at 21, and at 23 she got into the team. It's like
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
Yeah, it's inspirational, and I just want to push those platform and stories out there that it's never too late.
Yeah, right? Like you definitely should start it. Like I would like these I would like with everything now, like it's just like it's kind of like my mission is I like share other people's stories and when I was young, I couldn't share mine or anything. I didn't have the confidence. And so it's like when I share someone's story besides myself, it's like they get their story out other than me sharing my stuff on whatever episode it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would rather share people's stories and meet new people and meet and chatting and learn more about people and different things rather than just sit back and not doing anything, you know?
Right. And you just you get network, like for example, you have my full support and like anything you need, I'm here for.
Okay, same here as well. And like, what is some advice for like models or pageant girls that kind of want to start out in this industry but don't know really necessarily how or what to do?
Don't be afraid and just ask and go for it because I know a lot of people, it's not hard. It really isn't to just send an Instagram DM and be like, "Hey, how do I get started into this?"
Mm-hmm.
That's how I practically started, just sending a quick message and being like, "I want to be part of this." And what do I do? And it does, if with the right connections and there's a lot of YouTube tutorials, a lot of Instagram posts that people do that will kind of teach you the right etiquette. You don't need to pay hundreds of dollars. And honestly, that's one thing I will give tips about. You don't have to spend so much. You don't. A lot of people think you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars and all of this. No, if you connect with the right people and if you really want it, you will find the right sponsors. You will be able to push yourself and thrive. But it's just you finding that fierce inside you and not being scared to push yourself.
Like it's like that's definitely my boost of confidence right there. Like
Yeah.
that's like because like even though like people say like oh you're not gonna get there or anything, like it's just like you're the only critic you have in yourself. Not other people can judge like what you do. Of course it's very hurtful. Trust me, I've been there. Of course, like
Yeah.
it's very hurtful from my experience. And
Right.
it's like when you start out doing pageants, journalism or whatever it is like you don't know how to get started, just watch maybe a podcast or your videos or even reach out to people to get like advice or how to like like have a mentor or something. How do people find you on social media if they want to connect with you?
It's Alondra Bridget. It was Alondra.Bridget. And yeah, that's my Instagram. And also on Facebook, I'm Alondra Bridget. And yeah, those are my main social medias that I use.
Amazing. So thank you so much, Alondra, for coming on and taking the
Thank
time. You're
you.
so sweet or amazing and so kind and
I'm so sorry for that cutout.
no worries at all. No, things happen. Like, no worries at all. And like, really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to check her out. Make sure she's doing amazing things. I super appreciate you for coming
Thank
on,
you.
taking everyone for listening, and have a good rest of your day, everyone. Thank you so much, Alondra, again for coming on.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.